Hi guys, my name is Justin Wang. I'm a 17-year-old heart transplant recipient. I received my heart transplant on April 27, 2018, and that was over a year ago, so I'm over a year post, and I wanted to share my experience today of transitioning back into the normal world. When I mean normal, I mean more so healthy. I know that there's no set definition of normal, and that everyone's different in their own ways. But when I'm talking about normal, I mean healthy and just fitting back into society, basically. So my experience was, after my heart transplant, I was released to the Ronald McDonald House. If you don't know, the Ronald McDonald House provides housing near hospitals for pediatric patients and families during their treatment. And I stayed at the Ronald McDonald House for a total of 3 months, and over there I met a lot of amazing people. They had so many miraculous stories, and their illnesses were severe, but they always managed to overcome them somehow. And that's what I found very inspiring. So I stayed at the Ronald McDonald House for 3 months, and during those 3 months, and at least in my opinion, I think I grew a lot as a person, or at least found some new wisdom. I was discharged from the Ronald McDonald House 2 weeks before school started. And that meant it was a very intense process for me because I really just had to get back into the swing of things. When I came back to school, I was starting my 10th grade of high school, and it's high school, right? It really doesn't help that I was going into high school, of all places. And on top of that, it's just, I could not relate to my classmates anymore. It's a sad but true fact. I really felt that I really couldn't relate to a majority of them because I just felt so isolated from what they were doing and what I was doing. I wasn't prepared to feel this alone and this distant from everyone. In the Ronald McDonald House, at least we know or knew what we were going through. But here, we didn't. Back at home, not a lot of people cared. And when you try to talk to other people about your illness, they either don't want to listen, or, they want to change the subject. And of course it might be because I was talking to high schoolers, but I feel like everyone at every age level has people that would just ignore them if they're trying to talk about something serious. And I think the reason for that was because they just didn't know what to say, or they're just very uncomfortable during the situations. So I feel a majority of them, they wouldn't bother at all. They would just try to change the topic a lot. And at my school, there was an organ donation club, and that club even didn't want to talk to me about it. They just wanted me to speak, but I don't feel I could relate there either. So it was just very alone for me, even a place where I feel like I should have fit in, but I didn't. And I don't want to blame them. I don't want to say it's their fault, because if they don't want to listen, then that's their right to, right? And it really is a lot at once for them. But, I did feel isolated. And if you don't want to listen to advice from someone that doesn't even know how to drive, you can feel free to ignore this. But my coping strategies were, first and foremost, I wrote a blog. I started some journal entries about my experiences because I figured, hey, if no one's going to talk to me, then I'm going to talk to myself. And so I did. I wrote journal entries detailing my every experience, along the steps of the way to recovery. And then I decided, hey, might as well publish them because maybe they can help someone else out there, on the similar process of recovery. So I published it, and it's out in the world. And I would recommend you to seek a chronic illness group. I know that for organ transplant recipients, there's a really great organization called TRIO. They're called the Transplant Recipients International Organization. And they do a lot of community development. And it's kind of like a bonding thing where you can find other transplant recipients. And I know that at my school, there was one kidney transplant recipient who was a librarian, and she helped me a lot because she knew what I was going through, basically. And another way I coped was I made sure my friends were empathetic friends. They could at least, they wouldn't try to ignore me when I talked about my illness. And I think that's very important. If they did try to ignore me, what's the point? And even today, I'm still kind of uneasy to talk to my high school peers about it because in my own personal experience, I feel that it would make them uncomfortable. And I know that it's kind of hypocritical because I say, I did speak at my school, I was featured in my yearbook, and I am implementing the American Heart Association's high school program in my school. But, not a lot of people talk to me about it. Maybe they're caught up in their own world, but maybe they just don't want to know more about it. And, this is my own personal opinion. I don't know if I can put this behind me. I don't know that I can just put my heart transplant behind in my life and just move on. I know that other recipients do that, and that's totally fine, but I don't think I can. And that's not right, that's not wrong, that's just how I work. And the last thought is that if you're watching this, you probably feel the same way. And if you do feel alone, just know you are not. You are not alone. It was hard at first, but then it really got better. There's a lot of people that don't care. But you'd be surprised about the amount of people that do care. Anyways, thanks for watching. And please, I want to emphasize this a lot. Please spread the message of organ donation. You can become an organ donor if you go to donatelife.net, click on register to become a donor, and fill out the form. You can also become an organ or register to become an organ donor if you check yes at the DMV for organ donation. And lastly, you can go, if you have an Apple iPhone, you can go to your iPhone, click on the health app, and then go to your medical ID and click on register to be a donor. And there you go. Anyways, thank you guys. See you next time.